Our next guests are a rather odd couple. She is the epitome of what is called a California girl, beautiful, blonde, talented, and smart. He is, well, he is a director of TV and film. He is not beautiful or blonde or even from California. He, though, is talented and smart, I guess. His name is Arlene Sidaris, and the pretty one is Dona Speir. Donna is a model and an actress and a former Playboy Playmate. Andy has won a couple of Emmys for directing some silly football games. And his beautiful wife is Arlene Sidaris, a writer-producer, and the better half of his family. How about that for a long intro?
Well, I'll tell you something.
Epic, but
you know, yeah, that should be in the Library of Congress.
It really should. In fact, take care of that killer. Put it in the Library of Congress. First question is to Arlene. Now, you're the producer of this film that you're here to promote today, Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Now, a lot of people would call this, say, a drive-in movie or an action-adventure film. Some people would say a B movie because it has some ladies in it, some beautiful women like Donna. And a lot of women are going to say, now, why do you want to take me to a film that has, you know, beautiful women jumping around that make me feel bad because I'm not as beautiful as they are? Tell me about that.
Well, it is an action-adventure film. Yes, there are beautiful women, there are beautiful men, beautiful scenery, a great sense of humor about it, great action, and terrific entertainment. And as far as it being a B movie, it does not have Robert Redford and Barbra Streisand, but it has other wonderful qualities. We have terrific actors and actresses.
Now, before we get to any more fun stuff, a lot of women that I've talked to don't like the idea that there are women that don't have all their clothes on in films. They think it's exploitive of women. They think it's something that shouldn't be done. And what is your answer to that?
Well, I don't know why they think it shouldn't be done. These are some of the most beautiful women with the most beautiful bodies in the world. And if there's no problem with showing nudity at the Louvre, I don't see why there's a problem showing nudity on film. And the day I walk into a room and a man can't say you have great legs, I will be a very sorry feminist.
Okay. And Andy, as a feminist that I know you are.
That goes for me, too.
So whatever she said is fine.
She has great legs, she does. And so does this young lady here. So.
All right. Why did you want to start making movies? I mean, you kind of always made movies, even as a television director, or you worked your way into it.
Yeah, I found it to be a real challenge. I really loved movies. I was a kid. When I was a kid, my uncles I had 4 uncles in Kansas City that owned 12 theaters. I used to go there. And I got into that whole thing very early, where I loved movies, I loved make-believe. And I got into television, you know, at 16 years old at WFA down in Dallas, Texas. So I've always been into movies or television, and I did some hour shows, Kojak. I did a show for Arlene when she was producing Nancy Drew Hardy Boy series. I did some hour television shows, dramatic shows, and I felt like that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to write, produce, direct, and so I started doing that. Went out and raised the money. That's the hardest part of a picture, by the way, raising the money. A trained ape can do a movie, but really doing it good and with a certain amount of money is really the hard part. And working with Arlene has been wonderful for me because she's very experienced and very good at what she does.
Now, I don't know a lot of husband and wife that could work together, frankly.
Well, we had a tough time when we did the Nancy Drew. I directed Nancy Drew for Arlene. She was producing it. And she said, I came home one night after a long day of shooting out at the Coliseum and doing a whole thing with this show. And I came home and she said, I think. And I said, you what? You think? And it was one of those things. And we had a major argument. We got along really terribly. We've grown since then. But we realize now we have certain areas that we do. I write the scripts in 4 or 5 days. I write a script, and then I just sort of turn it over more or less to Arlene, and she puts it where it goes.
You both are very opinionated people. I would think that when your relationship maybe was not as mature as it is now, there were probably some screaming sessions in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, there were, and she was really upset with me a lot of times, and I was with her, but we grew past that. We now have we focused on trying to do good pictures. And our pictures are really good. They're shot as beautiful as any $50 million picture ever done. Our pictures are shot beautifully. The acting is wonderful, and we think it's pretty good.
This is the newest lady that we've seen, Dona Speir.
Frightening lady.
Whose parents really didn't do her a favor by misspelling her name at a very early age. Tell me the story of that. You're Donna, D-O-N-A.
Correct.
Speir, S-P-I-E-R, instead of E-I-R.
It is E-I-R.
It's E-I-R. See, I can't even spell it.
Instead of I-E-R, right.
Yes.
Instead of S-P-E-E-R.
Yes,
okay.
right.
My father's half Spanish, and that's where the last name Speir came in, and the original pronunciation of my name was supposed to be Dona.
Dona.
Yeah.
That certainly sounds elegant. Now, people say that you're the epitome of a California girl because you're blonde and all that kind of thing. I guess you'd agree with that, right?
I agree with that.
From Newport Beach, California,
Born
all
and
your
raised
years?
there, yeah.
And that's unusual in itself, isn't it, to find someone who's from California?
There aren't very many natives left.
And if all the natives look like you, I can wonder about that. Now, you got into acting with Andy. What'd you think when he wanted to put you in a movie? Is that a good line he said? Or?
I kind of doubted him right there because I never had really wanted to be an actress or get into that half of the business. I'd always done modeling, and when I was younger, I had done quite a bit of acting, but I had kind of outgrown it, and I eventually wanted to go back to school. And so this was just kind of something, when Andy approached me, it was kind of something like, well, are you really sure about this?
Well, yeah, I was.
You may get more than you bargained for. You know, and things did work out well, and I want to know if you want to know the truth on what they really work like together.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it from a third party. Yes.
Actually, you know what? They're great together. As long as Andy's in, or as long as Arlene's in the office and Andy's on the set, they work great. At nighttime, things kind of calm down, and they act like civil people. But in the daytime, they're both just workers. I mean, all day long, just tremendous.
You don't, I don't think, have the acting bug as far as you just got to act or you would die. You don't have that yet, do you?
You know what's funny? It seems like as long as I don't have that, the parts and the roles keep coming to me. It's just amazing. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I guess that's okay then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fun. You know, I wanted to add something. You were talking to Arlene about the women in the film and about them taking their clothes off and things like that. But one thing Arlene didn't mention was that all the women roles in this film and the following film, Picasso Trigger, all are very strong people. They're, I hate to say this, but they are a little bit above men. They are the heroes of the film. They save the men's lives. They have the brains. They have the knowledge. They don't mess up. They really don't. They carry the film basically,
really
you know.
do.
So and it says a lot. It says it's a statement. So.
You were a Playboy Playmate.
Right.
Now, what did that do on the good side of the ledger and the bad side of the ledger for your life?
The good side, it got me to travel. It made me quite a bit of money. On the bad side, at the time I did Playboy, I was also working in New York with an agency, and I was just getting into commercials and things like that. And the only really thing that happened to me that was bad was I lost a couple of P&G commercials, you know, Procter & Gamble, because they will not touch anybody with Playboy. Yeah, but this was a few years ago, and that may have changed, but.
It's interesting. Playboy has still got a very much of a mystique about it. There's something about Playboy that has even outgrown feminism. A lot of people thought Playboy would crash.
Right.
And it apparently didn't.
Right, well, it's
What's the
still
secret,
going
say, of
strong.
Playboy? Because they're classy, is that what it is?
The secret to it? Mm-hmm. Because they're classy. You know, it's kind of like the whole world that was built around Hefner and his lifestyle. You know, it's, I think, the curiosity level with people.
You know, and a lot of people think Hugh Hefner and his lifestyle really are dated type things, though. Do you think so, Andy?
No, I don't. I tell you what's happening now is that things are coming back. I travel a lot, as you know, do a lot of football games. So I'm on the campuses a lot. I see the yuppies. I see the young people. It's going back to the 50s and 60s again. People want to make money. People want to have a car. They want to have 2 cars. They want to have good times, romances, good wine, cheese, and have fun. So Hefner's mystique is part of that. The ladies' mystique is part of that, if you know what I'm saying. And I think our films really, they really display that. In other words, our people are beautiful, our scenery is beautiful, our action is beautiful. It's James Bondish, if you will. Perhaps a little more nudity here and there than a James Bond film, but on the other hand, our ladies, rather than a gentleman, as she mentioned, are the heroes, the heroines. They really do a hell of a job.
All right, before we go, football question. Who is going to win the national championship in college?
I think Nebraska.
What's the best team you've seen this year?
The best team I've seen this year was Oklahoma before Jamel got hurt, you know, so they were great. And they would win it, by the way, had they didn't have the 2 injuries, I think.
And what university year after year after year has the best looking cheerleaders?
USC.
Without question.
Yeah, they did for year after year, but then honest to gosh, it was Tennessee, Alabama, USC, UCLA. Those were the Big Ten, forget it. I used to say, and I got in a lot of trouble, I said they really love football at the Big Ten because their cheerleaders, all their female cheerleaders look like Woody Hayes. And that got me thrown out of the state. And then I went to Buffalo once and I said, no wonder they named the town Buffalo. All the women look like buffaloes. That was in my age where I was young and I was foolish, but now I'm looking for beauty with Arlene
Who
and
started
Donna.
the cheesecake shots on the football games?
Moi.
Is that you?
Moi
I
started.
mean, they had never shot the audience before?
I rated the
Or what?
cheerleaders. They were in TV Guide a couple of years. They called me and I rated 1 through 10 cheerleaders and all that stuff. I shot cheerleaders because the games would get to be boring or something, and I said, hey, I better find something to hold some interest. And now I got a million calls. I got to shoot good-looking guys in the stands for the ladies. Arlene says, where the heck are the good-looking guys? So I have to go around. You know how strange that makes me feel. Find me a handsome guy.
Have you ever gotten any criticism for showing too many women during a football
Oh,
game?
sure, but it doesn't. It goes right water off a duck's back. I could care less. I mean, because I'll show a beautiful woman in spite of it. You can always see a touchdown. Forget it. They're going to replay the touchdown.
And finally, Arlene, this man spends his life looking at beautiful women. Now, how do you deal with that as a wife? As long as he looks, it's okay, right?
Yeah,
as long as
it's
he's looking, he's fine. If he
That's
does anything else,
fine.
he'll kill him, in other words, right?
No, it's not like that.
No, it's not like that. Well, one of the things that one of the other abilities that these ladies have, that the ladies in our movie have is great athletic ability. And I'm a person that can find that and see that in a women and women. And Donna being a gymnast and Hope Marie Carlton being a wonderful athlete, they require a great deal of athletic ability to do our pictures, as would, as would the James Bond type of films or Schwarzenegger. The physical thing comes into it. Arlene and I have talked to these ladies and worked out with them and worked with them on these aspects of the picture.
Yeah, we did all of our own stunts.
Yeah, so they're
The
great.
performances are very demanding. The roles are very demanding for physical performance, and Donna is extraordinary.
And the next film is Picasso Trigger, and the one after that is, who knows
November
what?
Down.
November Down.
That means an airplane has
All right.
crashed with these two young ladies in it, and gosh knows where they
I guess
show
we'll
up.
see you again next year then.
Well, you bet you
Good.
will.
All right, thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Channel 4 Magazine will be back in a moment.